How did you get involved? What is your involvement? Do you know the athletes personally? How are you involved with the whole Miles for Smiles campaign?
Well, I mean, I've been very involved with Toyota Adventures for a long time, and Bramel Herber, one of the runners, approached me to see if it was possible to get Toyota on board, with a project to
Hmm.
provide support vehicles. And so, yeah, it was a logical thing to be part of the team and to provide that 4x4 backup.
Okay. With that in mind, you're a 4x4 enthusiast. How much 4x4ing are the vehicles actually doing? I mean, are the guys actually doing a lot of cross country running, or is it mainly street?
Well, there's been a great deal more 4x4ing than we ever dreamed of. And I mean, it started in Namibia, going through the prohibited diamond areas, and then went slap bang into the West Coast floods.
Yeah, sure.
So conditions were incredibly difficult in places. We've had lots of mud, lots of deep sand, and very much more 4x4ing than any of us would ever have imagined.
Wow. Sounds pretty hectic. How was the riots and all that? There seems to have been quite a few little hiccups along the way with the floods and then the riots and that kind of thing. How did the guys
Well,
cope with that?
we've had a few challenges, but I guess the guys always expected that things would never be easy, and probably they wouldn't have liked it if it was too easy. Um, they're used to challenges. We obviously had the two guys doing the Great Wall of China in 2006, and here conditions are generally easier. There's not the language barriers. You're generally closer to civilization. So, there's a lot in favor of doing it in South Africa rather than in the outback of China.
Yeah, no. With the Great Wall of China, I see they used GPSs to actually map the length. Are you using any kind of GPS with this challenge, or is it?
Yeah, very much so. The guys have wrist-mounted Garmin GPSs,
Mhm.
and they also carry a tracking device, the satellite tracking device that updates a website and basically shows exactly the distance that they travel every day. And at the end of each day, there's a GPS point taken, and then the next morning they go back to that exact same point to resume the run. So sometimes we sleep very close to where we finish. We might pitch tents nearby, and in other occasions we may travel quite some distance and then go back to that point.
Oh, okay. Now, what is the average amount of kilometers they're doing per day?
At the moment, they're doing 40 k's a day,
Okay.
and the idea is to build up from there and do a little more than that each day, probably around 45 k's a day. And they started slowly by their standards at about 35 k's a day.
Okay. So they're obviously going to be working their way up. Now, the question is, how much training have they done beforehand, or are they constantly training for other events?
Yeah, I think in a way they've been training kind of all their adult lives probably, but there was some months of training in the build-up to this, and they're definitely, much fitter now than they were even a month ago. You can see them getting leaner and fitter as the run progresses. And towards the end of it, it's quite possible they'll be running more than 50 kilometers a day.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I was looking through your blog. It's quite a brilliant blog actually. What has the response been to it? Are people taking a big interest in this?
Yeah, I believe they are. There seems to be very favorable reaction to it. I'm not sure how many hits and that sort of thing, but the comments I'm getting, people seem to enjoy it, and I think they're always keen to know the background to things. Not just the obvious story that they might read in the newspaper, but how the guys are feeling and things like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, Possibly my last question here. Are people, as obviously they're going to be running through various towns and what have you, are people aware of what they're running for? Is there a awareness amongst the public, or is it kind of you kind of need to make people aware as you're moving through?
I think we generally have to make people aware. Obviously, there is some awareness of the run, and it's growing all the time. And in the city areas, there's a chance to obviously meet a lot of people and talk to them about what we're doing. And the vehicles are very conspicuously branded with Miles for Smiles, changing lives one smile at a time. So people always ask about that. You know, the vehicles look great, and you know they are a focal point.
How many vehicles are you guys using as support vehicles?
We've got 4 Toyotas, 3 Fortuners, and a Hilux.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you best of luck with the blog and all your future endeavors.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for the call.